welcome to the video, man. It's your boy BRT, aka the God in the building, man. Listen, I got a good video for y'all today. So today, man, we're gonna be reacting to who's the best running back by round in NFL draft history, man. I don't know how this works or how I'm gonna do it. I don't know if I'm gonna want to rank it. I don't even know how far back in draft history they're going, but we're gonna see. So I don't know. At the end, I might rank them all. I might say like my top 5, but you know, let's get to it.
Running backs. Despite their value in recent years being called into question, they have been one of the most
I ain't gonna lie, the running back value has went down tremendously. Like, it's ridiculous, bro. Like,
important positions historically.
Like that,
there have been a little over 2,000 running backs drafted into the NFL in the Super Bowl era. And for this video, I've scoured decades of data, going round by round, to find the greatest and most accomplished running backs this league has ever seen.
You asked me, that's LaShawn McCoy.
Robertson on his back. Beautiful.
And this will come as no surprise that most of the all-time greats were drafted in round 1. To get an idea of the success differences by round, I went and found the exact number of running backs drafted in each round from 1967 to 2019, and I noted how many rushed for at least 5,000 yards in their career. 5,000 was an easy number that at least indicates
Between those years, 1996 to 2019,
a player was good and healthy enough
I don't think there's no more than probably 6 or 7
to put together multiple solid seasons as a team's primary or secondary running back. It doesn't mean a player was amazing, but it's enough to show that a back was serviceable for more than half a decade. 32% of first-round running backs rushed for at least 5,000 yards in their career.
I was completely fucking off. 196 first-round running backs. They were between
career, meaning the majority either were busts or got injured early in their careers. Now, to take it a step further, 10,000 rushing yards is a feat that very few reach. Let me quickly add a side note here. So, the average NFL running back's career is short, under 2.6 years. The physical demands and high injury risks is a hill that most backs won't be able to get over.
Somebody give Todd Gurley a fucking job, bro. I really feel like, I'm gonna say he can go back to what he used to be, but I feel like he can still be a good, valuable running back.
And for those who do, all it takes is for a player to lose a step in their game, and now they are a backup or out of the league entirely. In 2019, Zeke Elliott at the age of 24 was no doubt one of the best backs in the NFL. However, 3 years later at age 27, no one considered him a great back. Honestly, not even the best back on the Cowboys. His yards per carry had decreased dramatically. He's not even 29, and he's been a shell of himself for a few years now, and served as a rotational back last year in New England. I'm not trying to pick on Zeke. This happens all the time. Remember Philip Lindsay? He had 2 surprise breakout seasons in 2018 and 2019. By 2021, he was a backup, and by 2023, he was in the XFL. Anyways, I use these examples to illustrate how impressive the 10,000-yard feat really is. It displays both longevity, which is already rare in the NFL, and the remarkable ability to be, at the very least, an above-average starter for around a decade or more. In other words, it's no fluke. A player doesn't make it here by accident. It's not necessarily a mark worthy of the Hall of Fame, but it's getting pretty damn close. Just under 12% of first.
Just over the fact that out of 23 of 196 reached 10K, I feel like if you get to that point, you damn near have to be like talked about to get in the Hall of Fame, right? I mean, there's 196 running backs that was drafted in the first. I'm just going based off first round running back. I don't know nothing about second or thirds, but just based off first rounds, 10K.
First round running backs rushed for 10,000 plus yards in their career. Now, despite only 11.7% reaching that mark, virtually every historical big-name running back was picked in the first round. Of the 19 Hall of Fame running backs drafted in the Super Bowl era, 16 were drafted in the first round, 14 of which were top 10 picks. However, despite this historical dominance, the effects of first-rounders are much lower in today's game. Christian McCaffrey is a total stud and is currently the best back in football, but in 2023, only one of the other top 10 NFL rushers were drafted in the first round, Najee Harris. First-round running backs are much less prevalent statistically today compared to 20 years prior, when 6 of the top 10 rushers were first-rounders. The game, in the way running backs are utilized, has certainly changed. Anyways, when deciding who's the greatest first-round running back ever, there's a few different ways of examining this debate, and here's how I lay it out. The most dominant pre-Super Bowl era back is Jim Brown, considering he won MVP as a rookie and was the best back and most likely player in the league every
Super Bowl era. Damn, I don't even know what running back would be considered in that era.
year he played. No one has dominated at the level Jim Brown did. The best Super Bowl
I ain't gonna lie, I played running back. If I would have played running back then, nigga, fuck 12K, nigga. I'm getting 25 bands, nigga. 25 bands, 5 chips, nigga. 15 All-Pros, 20 Pro Bowls, nigga, 10 MVPs.
Bowl era running back is a toss-up between Walter Payton and Barry Sanders, although my vote would be for Barry. To pay respect to Walter, as Ray Lewis put it, once you put wisdom and will on top of talent, you get what you call sweetness. An elite blend of speed and power, Walter Payton played at an elite level well into his 30s. And for Barry, besides his superior all-time numbers, Barry stands in a class of his own in terms of ability to cut, change direction, accelerate, and juke defenders. His highlight reel is the best of all time, in my opinion. The greatest running back longevity has to go to Emmitt Smith. This dude was a starting level running back for 15 years. Nobody argues that he was as talented or dominant as the previous guys, but the durability of this man was remarkable, and it's why he's the all-time leading rusher. And then for the era I witnessed, LaDainian Tomlinson and Adrian Peterson take the cake. LT had a massive influence on how modern running backs are utilized today, considering his effect.
You call me biased, I don't give a fuck. I'm taking LaShawn McCoy over LT though.
On not just the run game, but the pass game as well. He holds the all-time record for rushing touchdowns in a season. And of course, Adrian Peterson was a freight train. In his prime, this man put the fear of God into his opponents. And nobody has had more impressive resiliency from injury when you look at what Peterson accomplished after suffering major injuries in the NFL.
Watch Nick Chubb turn back into the line of scrimmage right here. Bam!
As expected, the talent and production level diminishes significantly once we reach the second round. 15.3% of second rounders, compared to the 32% of first rounders, reached 5,000 yards rushing in their career. And just 5 of those 176 backs drafted in round 2 are
5 out of 176? Oh, nigga, whoever them 5 is on Jimmy Woo, they need to be
in the 10,000 club. The most notable second rounders in the NFL today.
We need a Hall of Fame, like, you know how they have the Hall of Fame people? We also need a Hall of Fame of very good. Because a lot of people don't understand that some people don't belong in the Hall of Fame. Like, okay, in my opinion, I don't care what the world say, internet, none of that. Devin Hester is not a Hall of Famer. He's not a Hall of Famer. I don't care. We get it. He was a great punt returner, kick returner. But what he other than kick returns and punt returns, what did he value to a team? Like he wasn't even good at his original position. He was mid at receiver. He was mid. And I might be yapping, but I'm just saying, like, to me, he was a good receiver, but it's just, bro, you ask anybody, it was like, he just wasn't good at nothing else. Like he was all right. Like he's all right. I don't think he's a Hall of Famer. He should be in the Hall of Fame of very good though. Very fucking good. No cap. I fuck with Devin Hester. Is he a Hall of Famer? No. I don't care what nobody say. I don't care.
Include the top 2 being Derrick Henry and Nick Chubb. And then there's another class of solid guys including Jonathan Taylor, Miles Sanders, and Joe Mixon. Historically, The 5 names that have eclipsed 10,000 yards are Tiki Barber, Ricky Watters, LaShawn McCoy, Corey Dillon, and the most statistically dominant and only second-round Hall of Fame running back as of now, Thurman Thomas.
First down on that ball, delayed for Thomas. Boy, look at him sprint through all the way to the 25.
As one of the emotional leaders during the Bills' run to 4 Super Bowls, his ability to be a great rusher as well as an effective pass catcher in their no-huddle attack led Thomas to some hugely successful seasons and playoff runs, which included him winning the regular season MVP in 1991. As for today, Derrick Henry is still playing and is worthy of being considered the greatest second-round running back of all time. After serving as a rotational back for a few years in Tennessee, Henry, at his relatively massive size, exploded onto the scene in 2018, and by 2020, was the best back in football. He may have not won MVP, but he became one of just 8 dudes to reach the illustrious 2,000-yard rushing mark, which is just as special. As one of the biggest backs to ever play in the NFL, Henry will attempt to reach 10,000 career yards this season as he joined forces with Lamar Jackson.
I ain't gonna lie, speaking of that, shout out to the fucking Cowboys for being fucking Riri babies and not signing him. I fucking love y'all. Like Jerry Jones, keep fucking cooking. Don't sign shit, nigga. Keep doing you, brother. I fuck with what you doing over there in that organization. Way to not sign him. I fucking love it. I did not want to play that nigga.
Once you reach the 3rd round, expectations have drastically decreased. Typically, the best backs are off the board by this point, and teams that draft here are looking for solid rotational backs who may develop into the starter after a few seasons. The odds of success continue to decrease. Less than 7% of 3rd round running backs have reached 5,000 career rushing yards, and just 3 of the 187 drafted have reached 10,000 yards. The most notable 3rd round running backs today include the following: James Conner, David Montgomery, Rachaad White, and Zach Moss. The biggest name today would be Alvin Kamara, who had a crazy 5-year run to start his career. Over the course of his time in the NFL, Kamara has displayed otherworldly balance, elusiveness, and acceleration. Historically speaking, the 2 names that have eclipsed 10,000 yards are way up the list: Curtis Martin and Frank Gore. Martin shocked everybody as a rookie when he finished 3rd in the league in rushing. Despite concerns about his durability prior to the NFL, Martin erased those concerns, as he barely missed any playtime and rushed for at least 1,000 yards in his first 10 seasons. Amazingly, that 10th season was his most impressive. For Frank Gore,
God, he was averaging at least 1,100 his first 5 fucking. He was averaging, oh my God.
Seasons. Amazingly, that 10th season was his most impressive. For Frank Gore, similar concerns about his durability were also erased. Over the course of 16 years, Gore was a bell cow back throughout almost all of it, and he finished his career averaging exactly 1,000 yards a season. And that total of 16,000 yards has him ranked 3rd on the all-time rushing list. Curtis Martin is the only 3rd round Hall of Fame running back, but Frank Gore will join him soon.
He's so overlooked in this set.
They thought Sean Springs was not only going to play, but he was going to start.
Came out before the game and they said no. Meanwhile, Jacobs says no. Runs right over Landry.
Who we taking, Josh Jacobs or Derrick Henry? I'm just saying, Josh Jacobs or Derrick Henry, to me, dude. I feel like Derrick Henry probably got a little bit more speed on him.
LP SmartSide Expert Finish can help you and your crew finish more jobs faster.
Once you reach the 4th round, you're beginning to look for guys who fill a role other than your starting running back. Things like a receiving back who can return kicks, or a guy who can play multiple special teams roles. The 4th round cuts the production level from the 3rd round in half. Just 3.6% of 4th rounders have rushed for 5,000 career yards, and 0 have made it to 10,000 yards. The most notable 4th round running backs today include the following: Tony Pollard, Chuba Hubbard, and Jamal Williams. Historically, there are 0 guys, like I said, that have reached 10,000 yards. One guy who perfectly encapsulates a successful 4th rounder who filled their role was Darren Sproles. Sproles was a guy who never became a bell cow back due to his size, but his receiving out of the backfield and return ability were amongst the best in the game. As far as the all-time 4th-round leading rusher, that goes to the 3-time Pro Bowler, Stephen Davis. Davis was a power back who developed into Washington's main starter by his 4th season and had a really impressive 5-year run. He is 54th on the all-time rushing list.
54.
The 5th round. Now it's just a crapshoot, and teams continue to scrape the bottom of the barrel for talent. If a guy provides some depth, great. If not, draft another next season. The idea of finding a long-term starter at this point is a pipe dream. Look,
I had so much hope for Kenny Gainwell, bro. I'm not gonna lie, Philly. It's time to let him go. It's time. Kenny, not it, bro.
Looking at the 2023 draft as an example, there were 4 running backs selected in the 5th round, and the best of them so far is Chase Brown, who had less than 200 rushing yards on the season, and none of those guys scored a rushing touchdown all year. Just 2.2% of 5th rounders have rushed for 5,000 yards or more in their career. The most notable 5th round running backs today include the following: Kyren Williams, Aaron Jones, Tyler Algier, and Jerome Ford.
Aaron Jones got drafted in the 5th round? I did not know that. All these niggas is tough. Jerome Ford, he a solid backup. I don't know about starter. I think Tyler Algier is a solid starter. He just he had a bad little first few seasons, you know what I'm saying? Then he got overlooked by Bijan, so it's kind of tough. But that Bijan and Tyler, that's a nasty duo. That duo can cook in the future. That could be like the next Aaron Jones and AJ Dillon.
Williams, Algier, and Ford all come from the same class, so that year is a total anomaly. And it's not like these guys are all pro level guys. Historically speaking, 0 5th-round running backs have made the Hall of Fame, 0 are in the 10K club, and only 4 guys have even reached 5,000 yards. The most notable was Michael Turner. Turner was initially a backup to LaDainian Tomlinson in San Diego, and he ended up being quite a surprise. Tomlinson in his prime was impossible to slow down, and was the best back in the league. And just when the defense thought they had a second to catch their breath, they got punched in the face by Turner. 2006 was an insane year for Tomlinson, and Turner was arguably the best backup in the league. He eventually did enough to become a full-time starter in Atlanta, and for a few years was a beast bell cow back for them.
He runs it over the left side, Turner with some room, and Turner with a lot of room. Turner with even more room. Michael Turner all the way into midfield, and finally we got a first down in this game.
Turner had an All-Pro run in 2008 and finished his career with 5 straight seasons with double-digit touchdowns. As we continue to go on, the odds of success continue to diminish. Less than 2% of 6th-round running backs have reached 5,000 career yards, and 0 have reached 10,000. These guys are more likely to be cut than to become a team's starting back. In the last 7 drafts, 25 running backs were selected in the 6th round. 10 of those are out of the league entirely. And really, there's only 2 notable names: Khalil Herbert, who's an excellent rotational back, and Elijah Mitchell, who had a solid rookie year, but is now a 3rd-string back in San Francisco. The rest are special teamers or have carried the ball very little in their careers. The most notable 6th-rounder in the league today would be Latavius Murray, who's now in the twilight of his career, but had a pretty good run back when he started in Oakland. And also historically, Murray is one of the most notable 6th-round running backs ever. However, the best 6th-round running back, and it's not even close, is Terrell Davis. After beginning his first training camp as the 6th-string back, Davis was a long shot to make the roster.
Now, I remember telling my mom this. I said, Mom, I was like, yeah, you know, I mean, that's cool. I got drafted. She's like, well, you're not excited? I was like, not really. She was like, why? She thought I was being ungrateful. I'm like, no, I'm just, I said 6th-round pick. They just gonna use me as camp bait. They're not drafting me in the 6th round thinking that I'm going to be a part of the team.
But after making an impression on the coaching staff with this hit in the preseason, Davis worked his way all the way up to the team's starting running back. By the start of his first regular season, the rest is history. He went from surprise rookie to standout All-Pro, then to the reason the Broncos won the Super Bowl, taking home Super Bowl MVP. And finally,
God.
He went from surprise rookie.
They had gloves with no fucking tips on them. No Diddy. That's crazy. But y'all see what he wearing. Y'all get what I'm trying to say.
To standout All-Pro, then to the reason the Broncos won the Super Bowl, taking home Super Bowl MVP. And finally, he won regular season MVP as he reached 2,000 yards in year 4, and also helped the Broncos reach another Super Bowl victory. It's one of the greatest 4-year runs by any player ever, let alone a 6th round pick.
My dream, so rare MLB opening day lineup, my middle infielders, both.
Davis, right side, room to run, cuts it back, will go for the touchdown.
Unfortunately, injuries completely derailed his career, and he only played 3 more seasons. But because Terrell Davis was a massive reason why Denver won 2 Super Bowls, he was inducted into the Hall of Fame.
Hamler drop. Up the middle, touchdown. Jamal Anderson out of the backfield. And there's the dirty bird.
The final round. At least in the modern day, they used to have more rounds, but they got rid of them. And you want to know why? Well, this had something to do with it. In the 8th through 17th round, when they existed, 692 backs.
Nigga, there were 17 rounds. See, I didn't even know that. And I love football. I didn't even know they went up all the way to fucking 17 goddamn rounds.
Were selected, and only 3 of them ever rushed.
How the fuck we skipped the 7th round? Why we get to 8th and 17?
5,000 yards or more in their career.
Oh my God, almost 700 running backs picked and only 3 hit 5K.
Most of them probably never even played a snap. For the 7th round, it's not much better. Only 2 of the 225 7th rounders selected have reached 5,000 yards, neither of which.
Once you get into the later rounds, you're more so like a special teams player. You're not really here. You know what I'm saying?
Reached 10,000. The notable 7th round running backs today include Isaiah Pacheco. That's it. Brock Purdy had.
Pacheco was in the fucking 7th round? How the fuck? How did we let that happen, Philly? How?
The next most rushing yards by a 7th rounder in 2023, and I'm not even joking, which really goes to show how rare it is to succeed as much as Pacheco has. Historically, Marion Butts and Jamal Anderson are the 2 most notable names. Jamal Anderson was a backup who came out of nowhere to have 4 solid seasons, capped off by his incredible 1998 run. You want to talk about a statistical anomaly? In 1998, in a year that featured Barry Sanders, Emmitt Smith, Marshall Faulk, Eddie George, and Curtis Martin, the top 2 rushers in the league were 6th rounder Terrell Davis and 7th rounder Jamal Anderson.
Nigga being ahead of Barry Sanders, Emmitt Smith, and who? What was that? Faulk, Eddie George.
6th rounder Terrell Davis and 7th rounder Jamal Anderson. Also, both the Broncos and Falcons made the Super Bowl that year, so these were the 2 biggest impact players on their respective teams in the biggest game.
We know who got a ring. What about the greatest undrafted running back?
Doesn't match up very well.
First down and 10. Priest Holmes, a Richardson block. Look at him cut outside. And there he goes. Trick free, throws it back. Touchdown.
Who y'all think out of all those running backs he said was in, like, out of each round he said who was the best running back? What would y'all rank them 1 through 7? And if y'all want to include the undrafted nigga 1 through 8, I don't know. But I'd love to hear who y'all would rank. But yeah, man, that's it for this video, man. Y'all like, comment, subscribe, and share, man. I'm out, man.